Hate to see injuries to young stars, and there have been a few this week. Here to shed some light, JP Morosi on the inside corner. Good morning to you. We were talking about Shohei Ohtani yesterday, 23 months removed from Tommy John surgery. Now it's a forearm strain. They have to fill a void in the rotation and the lineup. How are they going to do it out west?
Well, Lauren, good morning. Certainly a concerning situation right now for the Angels because Ohtani is such a huge part of their plans in both the pitching and offensive areas. First, the pitching part. Remember, of course, Julio Teheran also on the injured list at the moment as well. So that's 2/5 of what they thought their rotation was going to be. I would look for potentially Jaime Barria to come back in from the alternate training location and become part of the Angels rotation once more. From an offensive standpoint, and we'll get to Joe Adell in a moment, but I think you may see different players now rotating through the DH spot. Of course, they do get Mike Trout back from the paternity list. It appears as though Ohtani is being described as day-to-day from a standpoint of being a DH. So he should be able to hit in the coming days. But the timetable, as you pointed out, regarding the elbow issue from a pitching standpoint, is likely to be 4 to 6 weeks. And you start to think forward here in a 60-game season, there simply may not be enough time for Ohtani to get back on the mound in a competitive situation here in 2020.
You mentioned the good news, JP, and that is Joe Adell. You look at every single scouting report, and at the top of the report says total athlete, complete athlete. What's the plan for him?
Incredibly impressive player, Lauren. I had a chance to watch him during the Olympic qualifiers in November, the WBSC Premier 12, and just loved watching him play for Team USA in that tournament. He could play all three outfield positions. There's a lot of power there. He hit a ball in Japan that I remember. I think it's still going. It was an incredible blast that he hit there. So he's a really fun player to watch and see him there from the Premier 12. I think he's got a chance to be, and our colleague Rhett Bollinger writing at MLB.com talked about how basically Adell is the Angels' best position player prospect since Mike Trout. So that just tells you how talented Adell is. He'll probably move around again. We talked about the Ohtani absence. With Ohtani being out, potentially even as a DH as well, maybe we see Justin Upton move more into a DH role on different days. But I would expect, as Billy Upler said before, if you're going to call up Joe Adell, it's to play. It's to play basically every day. So I would expect Adell to be a 4, 5, maybe even 6 game a week player in the outfield. Of course, number 27 will probably play center field, but Joe Adell can play there when needed as well.
You're the next Mike Trout. Go on there. No pressure, right? Earlier, JP, we showed you the Reds splits. First 5 games, last 5 games. They're pretty severe. Same with Nicholas Castellanos, and I have the numbers right here. Last 6 games, a .450 average. He's been on another level. Why? How do you explain it?
Well, he wants to be great, and that was what David Bell told us here. I'm speaking, of course, from Cincinnati, where we had our showcase game last night, and David Bell told us that Nick Castellanos wants to be a great player. He is a very serious person, even in a casual conversation. David said, when you talk to Nick Castellanos these days, you better be locked in if it's just as simple as saying, hey, hello, how you doing? He's that serious right now. You see the shot from last night against Zach Plesac, that last swing that we just saw, that was a phenomenal shot to left center field. It took my breath away almost just watching it on a 3-2 pitch. And David Bell talked about how Nick Castellanos wants to be an MVP player, wants to be an MVP player. He's always had that sort of potential, Lauren, and now you see the leadership coming into play. He's got a home there in right field. That's going to be his position, we believe, for a very, very long time. And he is carrying himself like an MVP, like he wants to be the center, the hub of that Reds lineup. He's a lot of fun to watch, Lauren. I've seen him play, of course, a lot in Detroit over the years. I have never seen Nicholas Castellanos as locked in as he is right now, the reigning National League Player of the Week.
I love that. That's a statement. Daring to be great. The Reds looking for their 4th win in a row tonight. If you're like me, you're looking on your timeline for good news constantly. We all need a little good news around here. What has caught your eye, JP?
Lauren, how about this story? Caleb Thielbar coming back to the major leagues. Now, he is somebody who, again, I referenced the Olympic qualifying team back from the fall. I watched him pitch in the Premier 12. By then, Caleb Thielbar was already signed to be an assistant coach at Augustana University in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That was his job. He was already planning on getting into the collegiate coaching ranks, and he was going to basically pitch for Team USA in that tournament and then likely retire. Change of plans. He pitched so well in that tournament. I remember just texting executives during the course of that tournament, watching him pitch in Mexico, saying, this guy's pretty good. He shouldn't be a coach quite yet. So he decided to give it one more chance with his home state, Minnesota Twins, and now he is back in the major leagues, Lauren. An incredible story. Someone who was this close to basically giving up playing to become a coach. And even now, if you look at his Twitter bio, it still says assistant coach for the Augies of Augustana University and pitcher in the Twins organization. Caleb, you got to edit that bio, my friend. You are back in the major leagues. Change it up. Twins pitcher at the major league level, and then the Augies will still be there when you want them in the future.
If I was a major league player, I'd write a sign, put it on my head, tell everyone, right? Not so modest.
Right, exactly.
JP Morosi on the Inside Corner. Appreciate it.